السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We continue inshallah ta'ala with Surah Az-Zumar, and we stopped at verse number 24. So we'll take inshallah ta'ala 3 verses, 24 to 26, 24 to 26 from Surah Az-Zumar, Surah number 39. So we'll start inshallah ta'ala with the recitation. So recite after me inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أفمن يتقي بوجهه سوء العذاب يوم القيامة وقيل للظالمين ذوقوا ما كنتم تكسبون. كذب الذين من قبلهم فأتاهم العذاب من حيث لا يشعرون. فأذاقهم الله الخزي في الحياة الدنيا ولعذاب الآخرة أكبر لو كانوا يعلمون. أفمن يتقي، نون السكون after it takes two counts. أفمن يتقي بوجهه تجيم السكون قلقلة بوجهه سوء العذاب 45 counts العذاب يوم القيامة وقيل للظالمين ذوقوا ما كنتم إخفاء ما كنتم تكسبون. كذب الذين من قاف after نون والسكون إخفاء and it's heavy tone من قبل and the باء with سكون قلقلة من قبلهم فأتاهم العذاب من حيث لا يشعرون فأذاقهم الله الخزي في الحياة الدنيا ولعذاب الآخرة أكبر لو كانوا يعلمون. The translation of the ayat are those who will only have their bare faces to shield themselves from the awful torment on the judgment day, better than those in Jannah. It will then be said to the wrongdoers, reap what you sowed. Those before them also rejected the truth. Then the torment came upon them from where they least expected. So Allah made them taste humiliation in this worldly life, but far worse is the punishment of the hereafter, if only they knew. أفمن يتقي بوجهه سوء العذاب. After what we heard in the previous verses, with praising the Quran, and before that the believers, and warning against those who their hearts are hard, and how to soften our hearts with being attached to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here says, أَفَمَنْ يَتَّقِي بِوَجْهِ سُوءَ الْعَذَابِ, the one that shield himself. And أَفَمَنْ, it's a question. So is the one that is يَتَّقِي بِوَجْهِ, he's shielding, يَتَّقِي from التقوى, shielding his face from the evil of the torment and evil of the punishment on the day of Al-Qiyamah. And the question, as mentioned also in the previous verse, it says, is the one that is doing this. Of course, it's obvious to say, is he better than those who are not doing so? But the other part of the sentence is not mentioned because it's a very obvious one. So is the one that is shielding, protection, or shielding his face, protecting his face from the punishment in the day of Al-Qiyamah, وَقِيلَ لِلظَّالِمِينَ ذُوقُوا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْسِبُونَ. It will be said to the ظالمين, to the wrongdoers, taste what you used to earn. This is what you earn. This is your actions. The reap of your actions. Reap what you did of your actions. So basically, what you would understand from the verse is the one that would shield himself, his face, from the punishment of the fire. Is he the like as the one that is safe in the day of judgment? And what is meant by that is the disbelievers, when they are thrown into the fire, they're thrown first on their faces. So they try to prevent the fire from touching their faces, but of course they cannot prevent such a thing. So those who will try to do that in the day of judgment, are they better than those who come in the day of judgment safe from the punishment of the hellfire? Of course, the comparison is a very obvious one. And this is the like of the verse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَمَن يُلْقَى فِي النَّارِ خَيْرٌ أَمَّن يَأْتِي آمِنًا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Is the one that is thrown into the fire is better than the one that is comes safe in the day of Al-Qiyamah? Of course, the one that comes safe. So, and Imam Sa'di rahimahullah, he says, are they the like? Are they similar? And this is ways for the people to reflect upon, to think. Are they the same? The one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided him and guided him to the right path that would make him reach the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is he the same as someone that is in dalal, in deviation, and he continued to be on that path as a result of his stubbornness till he comes in the day of judgment, where he would face the severe punishment that is an everlasting one. So he kept on putting his hands in front of his face to protect himself from the fire, and the face is the most honorable part of one's body that a person would try to save the most, or the first thing to do, but there's no benefit of that whatsoever, because it's not going to prevent him from the evil of the torment of the hellfire, because his hands are chained, and the same thing for his legs, as it's mentioned also in the Quran. وَقِيلَ لِلظَّالِمِينَ. It will be said to the wrongdoers, those who wrong themselves. How can a person wrong himself? With sins, with disbelief. Right? So it will be said to them, as they say, تَوْبِيخًا وَتَقْرِيعًا, to increase in their punishment, scolding them. ذُوقُوا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْسِبُونَ. Taste what you used to earn. تَكْسِبُونَ. Al-kasb is your earning. You earned it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most just. كذب الذين من قبلهم. The next ayah. فأتاهم العذاب من حيث لا يشعرون. Those who before them, الذين من قبلهم, they denied the truth. So the punishment came to them from where they did not feel it coming. لا يشعرون, they did not expect it to come that way or this way. And therefore there's no protection to them as a result of that. So the nations before. So whether it's, أفأمن أهل القرى يأتيهم بأسنا بياتا وهم نائمون. Do the people of the towns, they are secure from the punishment of Allah to come to them when they're sleeping at night? Or are they secure, or they feel that they're secure when the punishment of Allah comes in the beginning of the day, or in the day, during the day when they're in the rafla, their forgetfulness, buying and selling, working, this and that, the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can come to them at that time also. So this is the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for people to repent to Allah before that happens to them. كذب الذين من قبلهم فأتاهم العذاب من حيث لا يشعرون. So what happened when the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came onto them? فأذاقهم الله الخزي في الحياة الدنيا ولعذاب الآخرة أكبر لو كانوا يعلمون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them taste فأذاقهم الله الخزي, the disgrace, the humiliation in this world when the punishment came onto them. When they're punished in this world, they're disgraced, they're humiliated. فأذاقهم الله الخزي في الحياة الدنيا, with this punishment. وَلَعَذَابُ الْآخِرَةِ أَكْبَرُ. And the punishment, the torment of the hereafter is much greater. لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ. If they would know. And the knowledge here, the knowledge that is in the hearts that would affect them. If they know the punishment in the hereafter is much greater than the punishment that happens to them in this world, then they would have repented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So basically the verse, as Imam Sa'di rahimahullah is saying, is فَلْيَحْذَرْ هَؤُلَاء. Let those people be warned from the being among those who deny the truth. Because those who deny the truth, the punishment of Allah is a repeated one unto them. So what happened to the nations before will afflict them if they deny the truth. The words of the verses, أَفَمَنْ, which is a question, then he is, and then here in the meaning of الذي, أَفَمَنْ يَتَّقِي, يَتَّقِي from waqa, وَوْقَافْيَا, shielded, and that's what the word of التقوى means. بِوَجْهِهِ, with his face, from waw jim ha. بِوَجْهِهِ, سوء العذاب, the worst of the punishment, from sin waw alif. The punishment is from Ain Dhal Ba. Yawm al-Qiyamah, on the day of al-Qiyamah, on the day of resurrection, from Qaf Waw Mim, when everybody will be resurrected and stand by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Waqila, and it will be said, لِلظَّالِمِينَ, to the wrongdoers, لِلظَّالِمِينَ, from Lam Mim, ذُوقُوا, taste, from Dhal Waw Qaf. And the dhawq is, as we talked about it before, originally is when you taste something with your mouth, with your tongue. And a dhawq is a very personal experience. You cannot really convey it to others unless they have an idea of what, or they taste the like of it before. Right? So it will be said to them, ذُوقُوا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْسِبُونَ, taste what you earned. You brought it to yourself. It's like also when you think of it, when you purchased something, right, for you to eat, it's you the one that brought it. So you're eating what you've earned, what you've done. So taste the effect of your actions, and it's a level of meaning that if it's established in the heart, it's a very scary one. So it will be said to these disbelievers in the Day of Judgment, taste what you've earned. The actions, people will see it with their own eyes, as the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that talks about that physically. People would see their actions physically in the Day of Judgment, and what is good, and what is evil is evil. So it will be said to them, taste what you've earned, which is the fire. And the bad deeds in this life is fire. It's fire, but we don't see it. It's the fire in the hereafter. So, and the same thing with anything that a person earned in this life, whether it's financially or actions. كذب, from كذب, which is denied. كذب الذين من قبلهم, those who were before them. فأتاهم العذاب. So أتاهم, came to them, ألف تاء. Yeah, so came to them, they didn't go to it, came to them, العذاب, the punishment, من حيث لا يشعرون, from where they do not يشعرون, they perceive or expect or feel, from Shin, Ain, Ra. So without them perceiving it, from expecting it. فأذاقهم, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them taste from Dhal Waw Qaf. فأذاقهم الله الخزي, the disgrace, from the same three letters, which is the disgrace, ولا تخزني يوم يبعثون. So this is the disgrace, the humiliation. في الحياة الدنيا, in this worldly life, in this immediate one. ولا عذاب, and lam is tawkid, for sure, definitely the punishment of the hereafter, akbar, is greater than anything, than the punishment that they received in this world. لو كانوا يعلمون, if they would but know. لو كانوا يعلمون. And what we see here, the ways of the Quran in warning and showing the differences between the people of Jannah versus the people of the Hellfire, and how the truth is completely separated from the falsehood. As we talked about that before, this is how things are in this world also for the people of the truth. The haqq, the truth, is never confused with the batil or the falsehood. They are completely different. And that's why the people of the truth, they have a responsibility to make sure that they make it clear to the people what is haqq, what is truth, versus what is batil, what is falsehood. You cannot have it confused to the people. Because in the Day of Judgment, it's going to be the Jannah versus the Hellfire. How completely different, these two places. This is how the haqq, the people of the haqq are the people of Jannah. The people of falsehood are the people of the Hellfire. So the actions, how the verses is giving us this vivid I'm not sure how to express this. The actions are so physical because it's in the day of judgment. It's physical. So the actions of the people, it's either Jannah or the hellfire. So the Jannah of this world is the act of obedience to Allah because it leads to Jannah. The hellfire of this world are the evil actions that would lead the people to the hellfire. This is how things are in this world, should be very clear. And it's clear to the believers. And it's a very difficult thing to see, that as believers, they don't see this matter like this in this world. How can they not see the Jannah versus the hellfire in this world? It's with the actions. You see the Jannah versus the hellfire in this world with one's actions. The actions of the people of the fire versus the actions of the people of Jannah. The life of the people of the hellfire versus the lives of the people of Jannah. We do not guarantee who would be where, but it's the actions of the people. So, and this is how the verse is giving that sense, giving that feelings to it, which is very clear. So when you have this complete separation, this complete clear vision, then a person definitely would run away from the hellfire. Who would want to run to the hellfire? But it's the lack of knowledge, it's the pollution of one's heart that makes the person confused. Or he might even look at the actions of the people of the hellfire as if it's not that much of a difference of the actions of others. It's because of the people of righteousness, they did not do the righteous actions the way they ought to. It's not because of the people of the evil. This is obvious from them. But where is the people of the truth? Where are the true worshippers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who would worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with ilm, with knowledge, following the way of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and they're upon the haqq, in their actions, in their speech. And this is how the words of the verses are being expressed. And it shows that the ways of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the same from one generation to the other. And it's warnings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned the people of Quraysh, warning to anyone that would, take the same path. And there is punishment in this life and in the hereafter. And if people have the knowledge with certainty of the punishment of the hereafter, they would not deny the truth and they would not wrong themselves. So basically, the verses are saying al-jahl, ignorance, is the reason for destruction of the people. So to lift oneself from the state of ignorance is by learning the truth and to have the certainty on it, of it, and to hold fast to it. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us benefit from what we hear, and try again your best to memorize them and repeat these verses over and over again so that it washes away the diseases of the hearts and the things that would prevent the person from enjoying the real joy of this life, and that is to be close to the book of Allah and to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. Barakallahu feekum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. And the night of Jumu'ah and the day of Jumu'ah, the virtue of it is something not to be ignored, and we're coming closer to the first 10 days of the Hijjah and the virtue of it, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us witness them and to make us among those who are able to fulfill the acts of worship that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll continue inshallah ta'ala after tomorrow. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على محمد وصحبه وسلم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.